Straight up, if I know I like you, I'm gonna text you right at that moment when I decided I liked you. I'm gonna be like, I like you. But if you don't like me, it's okay.
Let's fucking welcome. Here we are, guys. October 6th. Wow. Already October 6th? I'm still waiting for Y2K to hurt me. I got cans of soup in the garage, water bottles, plans to how I'm going to meet my friends after everything falls apart when the Y2K bug hits, but it never happened. Oh man. Whew. I forgot what I titled this one. I titled it something interesting. I don't know what it was. Something about being a dog, right? Yes, I am a dog, but that sounds okay to me. Yes.
Never happened.
All right, let me get my sound set up here properly. So I previously talked about... Let me change the music here just for a second. Let's get this going here. All right. There was this girl. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. 여자. There was this 예쁜 여자가 있었어요. This beautiful girl, woman, at the meetup the other night. I thought she was beautiful. And I sat next to her, and I think I talked about this yesterday, but she was into my jokes. Like, she was laughing at so many of the things that I said that it egged me on, of course, as a human being. As you know, one of my most favorite things in life, next to like cats, you know, and ice cream, is girls, women. They're so just nice to look at. They're attractive. All of my really good friends are women. I just love women. I love women. For no other reason than I love them, okay? Now, before I talk about this 예쁜 여자, this 기레나 jose, I will say there were some cool Korean guys at the after party that we went to. We call it second round, yeah? After the second round, they were cool. I was like, oh man, I need more guy friends, because these guys were really cool. And I thought, I'm probably missing a huge part of Korea by only having girl people friends. That's a term, that's official. It's an official term, by the way. You can say in Korean, 여자친구 to mean girlfriend, and 남자친구 to mean boyfriend. Okay, 친구 means friend, 남자 means male, and 여자 means female. But if you say that, then it sounds like you're dating or you have some sort of relationship beyond friends. So instead of that, they say 여자 사람 친구, female person friend, and 남자 사람 친구. So this woman, obviously, I just met her. You know, she would be a 여자 사람 친구 to me. But I would enjoy it because I love it when a girl laughs at my jokes. It's just nice. But yesterday she said, you, oh my God, don't be offended. You remind me of my dog. You're so much like my dog. And today when I told my teacher this story, she said, oh, you know, that's a negative thing to be called a dog. And I'm like, no, I understand. But she didn't mean it that way. She meant it in a good way because she was laughing so hard, and she said she loved her dog who passed away so much, and she thought her dog was great. And this unlocked a cool new fetish for me. I'm like, I would like to be her dog. That's what I thought in the moment. Because, wow, could you just imagine? She's like rubbing your tummy, scratching your head. I don't know. It seems great. Like, it seems like, you know, she's walking you, you know? Hopefully she'd be pushing me around in a baby car. That'd be better. Like a carriage or something like that. I don't want to walk on all fours, but I'm just saying it was kind of nice. I've never been told that I remind someone of their dog. I've had, you know, you look like a famous person, you remind me of a friend of mine. Like, those are all also good, but the dog thing. So I got pictures of the dog. That's why I'm retelling this story. And I want to show you the dog. Give me a second. Uno momento, señorita and señoras and señors. I have pictures. I just have to remember how to get into WhatsApp. Because apparently, I'm on WhatsApp now. That's the wrong person. I don't even know her name. I just have her phone number. It doesn't show her name. So I have to like click through a bunch of these to even know who I'm talking to. Hey, wait. If she deletes me, is it just gone? Oh no, here she is, okay. I thought for a second I got deleted. All right, first, when I asked her for the picture, I just was trying to make it fair. So I sent her a picture of my very smart cat. This is my smart cat. These are my glasses on my cat. This is Melody. She's my smart cat. I sent her that. All right, let's see what she sent me. This, now you can tell me, do I look like this dog? Do I remind you of this dog? This is who I am right here. This is my new role in life. I mean, obviously the dog is loved. He's got a little clothing on there or something to help him walk. Now the next picture, excuse me, next picture freaked me out just a little bit. I saw it from afar and I thought, oh my God, what's happening? I didn't understand what was happening. These two alien babies. I was like, does she have children? I don't think so. Why are these American children? I don't. And that baby, to me, I just was a little bit frightened when I first saw it, but he's probably a great kid. Okay, but here's the dog. So this is who I look like. I wonder if she was like a nanny or something. Is that her? Is that her hair? That looks like the mother's hair though. I don't know. She also said to send me the link of my live stream. I don't know if I want to, how do I do that? Anyway, I'm not gonna send her this one. So yeah, I don't know. On a serious note, wouldn't that be fun? That kind of role play, just for a day, to be a dog? Like, I've always thought I would like to be a child again and have my mother read me a story. Like I don't think I got these when I was a kid, and that's probably part of that fantasy. But, you know, I've seen Korean women in the like the bookstore reading like a children's story lovingly to their kid, and I'm like, man, to be a kid, but not to just be a kid, but to know how important that link is with your mother, the love that they feel for you. Because when you're a kid, you don't know. You're like, mommy, read me a story. You know, you don't know. But when you're okay, I understand it's freaky. I understand what I'm saying is fetish level, but I'm not saying anything in a sexual way. I'm just saying from a human experience, I want to fly like a bird, you know? I want to swim like a fish, and I'd like to be a dog with a woman that loves me. You know? That particular woman would be great because she seemed really kind and fun. Yeah. I don't even know her name, but it was nice. All right. Well, welcome to the stream, guys. That's my topic for tonight. Did the Korean lady pet you today? That's a good question, Kyle. I did not go to the meetup today. I went to Hanam again. I found out it's Hanam. I think midway through I started calling it Hannam because I saw another place and it was Hannam, and I realized I think there's two places. One is Hannam, which means south of the river, and the other one is Hanam, which I don't know what that stands for, but yeah. So I went there again. This really beautifully created, walkable city, and I tried to do a live stream and it didn't work out. The internet connection. My internet's been bad all day, so I'm wondering if maybe I've been throttled by Google Fi because I've been out of the country for almost 2 months and I've been live streaming every day, so I can't live stream anymore. And here's the bigger problem. This is my biggest problem right here. I don't know what to do, but I can't log into Pokemon, and it's messing me up. I cannot log into Pokemon. 어떻게 포켓몬 하고 싶은데 왜? 왜 로긴 못해? 못 하고 싶은데. 아니요. 하고 싶은데 못해. 이렇게 쭉 이렇게 나타내요. 하여튼 오늘 인터넷에 연결이 안 돼요. 그래서 생방송 못했어요. 결국은. So, because I couldn't do that live stream, I just walked around and I did a widescreen, not vertical but horizontal widescreen, and I'll eventually put it up on Adventures in Asia. I don't know. It's not really an adventure. It's just me walking around. It's not like we got lost and, we're driving a car and we're going to festivals. None of that. So I don't know what to do. I thought I'd put it on this channel, but this channel is kind of my live stuff now. So I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do about this. So I didn't go to the meetup. Today, basically, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've been like stacking things. I went to the Yubin Kyoku, the Ucheguk, and I picked up a box, and I've been putting things. I've been weighing things to put into the box because I'm going to send it back to America. It's going to cost me like $50. It'll take about 2 months, but I can send up to 20 kilograms. So that's cheaper than a new suitcase plus paying for the additional weight or something like that. So, or the additional suitcase. So I'm just going to ship it a bunch of stuff like clothing and stuff like that. And I think next time I'll bring less clothing because I've been wearing the same shirts. I've been washing the same shirts over and over again and leaving a whole subset of shirts used in my bag. So, alrighty, where was I? Oh my gosh. Hi, George. Guy 2015 says, Hi, George. How would you say all dogs go to heaven in Japanese? すべての犬が天国に行きます. Would it be 全部の犬? Oh, すべての犬 I think is better. すべての犬は天国に行きます. Kyle says, 犬だったら大丈夫. Where is this going? Asks Nemo Zedbit. Listen, it's not going anywhere but pure raw love for my owner, the unnamed beautiful Korean lady who thinks I look like her dog. And fondly said my personality was like her dog. Just this happy. I don't know. I don't think it was a negative thing. I think it was a positive thing. I do not mind being referred to as a dog. Golden retriever, maybe, some sort of spunky dog. Also, seriously, when she found out I was 50, she wasn't believing it. So far I've been nailing the I don't look 50 thing here in Korea, so I'm happy. I probably am just going to stop saying my age so that people believe I'm 35. WhatsApp is owned by Meta. Yes, that is true. Very popular in Europe. That and Telegram. That dog looks like George. Wholesome. George is a schnauzer. I mean, I do have the beard, you know what I'm saying? Kyle says, there's things like Jubilee that try to normalize people in those puppy-type relationships and other weird stuff like acting like babies. What's Jubilee? There's things like Jubilee. I don't know what that is. Let me really nail this out for you. I don't want to be a human acting like a dog. That's weird. I don't want to be a grown man acting like a baby. I want to be a baby. Okay, I want to be a dog. That's the fantasy, not like not like you're rubbing my tummy and no. That would be just too weird for more than a minute or two. That'd be weird. For a minute or two, it's funny. But for I'm laying in bed with you as a dog and I have a fake tail that I'm wagging. No, that's weird. I want to be a dog so I can have that level of love. I might want to be a bird and just with my mouth open, getting food fed to me by my mama bird because she loves me. And pray that I don't get kicked out of the nest and just kicked to the floor because I'm the weakest link in the birds. I don't want that. Nemo Zetbit says, I'm not sure what role playing as a dog entitles. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know either, to be fair, but that's not what I want to do. I want to be a dog. I want to point that out. I also have a very key memory as a child, and I think this is where the motherly thing comes in. So first of all, let's just look at my history for a second. My birth mother, was 15 when she had me. Or no, 15 when she got pregnant. And it would seem that she was 16 when she had me. Okay? So she was a very young mother, and I don't think she knew how to be with a baby. It wasn't like a modern age human being, that has a lot of information on babies and could look up YouTube. She didn't know how to handle a baby. And her husband, my father, was 20, and he went to fight in the Vietnamese War in Vietnam, right? He was in Cambodia. So she was alone. She didn't know what to do with a baby. So I don't think I got that level of love. And then there was a divorce, and my father married another woman named Marlene, who I called mom. I thought she was my mom. And I remember she had a daughter, so it was like a mixed marriage. And that daughter was my sister at the time, right? Excuse me. God. And I remember there was a period where I was put into daycare, and I don't remember the circumstances, but I was put into daycare. But my father didn't want me to take a nap, and I've told this story before, so, bear with me just for a second. So I wasn't allowed to take a nap, and I remember getting put in this room all by myself, a table, 2 chairs, a shelf of some children's books, a fly that kept flying around trying to get out. That fly has been dead for a long time. Let me just point that out. But I just remember being there very, very lonely. But one day, they forgot, or they took pity on me. And they put me on one of the cots with all of the children. All these cots were just laid out. And maybe I was crying, maybe I was restless. I'm very restless, even now as a human being, as an adult. And I was laying on my stomach, and the lady rubbed my back. And it is my most early fond memory. That love that I got from that woman, I wish she could know. I wish, there's just no way I would ever find her or she would ever know, but to let her know how that has given me strength in my life, Like that moment gives me so much warm joy to know that I was getting love. And I told my wife this story, and when I'm sick, my wife will rub my back in that loving of a way, and it's so fantastic. I guess I need that level of babying because I've never been babied. As a baby, I didn't get probably the affection that most children get. Like I know Melanie has a child, one of the people here in the chat room, Melanie, she's one of the mods. I know she has a child, and I know she loves that boy to death, and she gives him a lot of motherly love, and I'm jealous a little bit. I want to be Matayo just for a day. That'd be great to have a mother that loves me, and thinks about me. Be nice. Good job, Melanie. You're a great mother. I'm jealous of my daughters. They have a great mother as well. Melanie says, I should have read this earlier. There is a fetish group where grown men wear dog masks and pretend to be dogs, but that's not what you're talking about. Yeah, thank you. I'm not talking about that at all. You've got this message.
I feel you, Bo.
I feel you, Bo. Look, thank you for feeling me, TV. I appreciate it. Common commenter says, I understand you completely, George. Thank you. I know I joke a lot. I'm not joking right now. These are things I want to explore as a human being. I would like to be able to quantum leap into a baby's body, quantum leap if you even know that show reference. I want to quantum leap into a dog or a cat and just enjoy that, whatever that equals. I want to boop my master's head, Kyle says, nothing you're saying sounds weird. Well, thank you, Kyle. In fact, it seems like due to not having a strong bond with a mother figure, that may be why you love girls so much. Compensating for a bond you never had. Wait a minute. Dude. Never thought about that way. Yeah. That checks. That makes a lot of sense. You know what else, now that I'm thinking about it? What's my fascination with Asian women? My mother had dark brown hair. Maybe that's what I'm attracted to. Because my mother wasn't there for me, but I was aware of who my mother was. And that's why I like Alyssa Milano, Summer Glau, these dark-haired, beautiful women, and Japanese and Korean women with dark hair. We're digging deep into the psyche here, aren't we? We're deeping in.
I feel you, Bo. Even nada, no, Bo.
It's interesting, Kyle. This is now a support group. I appreciate it. Here comes Ju-un to ruin the vibe completely ruin the vibe, but for a good reason. Yahoo, I just started book 5. You're right. I'm a book author. You're right. I gotta calm down. There's a lot of meaning in that message. TB says, oh no, George, this is a sad story. I didn't mean to make it sad. But if we're gonna go the sad route, I got one more sad route. One more sad thing. That wife, Marlene, my dad's second wife. Now, within that marriage, I had that happiest moment with my back rub, but I also have my worst moment. And I've said this before as well. This isn't, some of you already know it, but I assume not all the OGs are here. But when I was maybe 5 or 6, my father had gotten a divorce with Marlene, who was the only mother I was aware of at the time. And she moved out and she came back one day and I was by myself. I don't know how I was by myself at 6, but I was. And it was a different era. And she came and I remember reaching up to her. I wanted a hug. I hadn't seen her and I wanted a hug. And she said, no. And she pushed my arms down and said, you remind me of your father. And that hurt. And if I was an actor, that might be my go-to method to cry, because it really hurt, because that was a pretty horrible thing to do, even if you remind someone of the husband that you just broke up with. If that someone is a child who only knew you as their mother, how do you justify that level of just uncaring for a child? Fake it. Hug me for a minute. Hug me for a minute. So that's the sadder part of that discussion. ACL 3920 says, it's funny how simple acts can impact people so much and we have no idea. Yeah, ACL, I deal with that with my older daughter. My younger daughter seems to have, either she hides a lot or she's well balanced. My older daughter has a lot more healing to do as a child, a lot more horrible moments with me, or with her mother, things that we said to damage her as a child. And then, but there's also these good moments that she'll talk about them every now and then on her live stream. It's a big part of her identity. The role, I as a parent or her mother as a parent played in her life will come out a lot on her streams. And, I hear them. I hear what she says. And I feel horrible because I didn't know. I didn't know at the time how much it affected her. I didn't know how much of her self-identity I was crushing in a joking way or in a, whatever, nonchalant way, I think one of her early, probably bad memories is she had drawn this picture of me. I think it was of me or my wife. I don't remember. It was probably me. And she was always showing me art. I mean, she's an artist. And I would always say, oh, that's great. That's great. And I thought, you know what? Let me be honest. When she said, what do you think of this new art that I did? She was like 6, 8, I don't know. One of those really young ages. And I said, it's not that good. I think you can do better. It crushed her. It really crushed her. And I thought I was coming into that as kindness. I thought that was a way to improve her skill, not to hurt her. And it hurt her. And I hate that. Even the way that I wasn't aware that she needed to know that Santa Claus was real. She came to me, I think she was 9, 10 maybe. I don't remember how old she was. She wasn't super young. And she I guess at school she had heard that Santa Claus was fake. And she wanted to know that he was real, but I didn't know that. And she said, Dad, Santa Claus isn't real, is he? Or something like that. And I paused and I thought about the consequences of what I was getting ready to say. But I thought she needed to hear that he wasn't real because she was doubting like her understanding of the world. And I didn't want to I thought she was wanting to find out that he was, like, to vindicate that thought that he isn't real. But it was the other way around. She had defended Santa Claus's existence with the people that were telling her that he isn't real. And I crushed her. Oh my God, I crushed her so bad by saying, it was such a simple thing. I just said, no, honey, he's not real. It's me and your mother. And the instant shock on her face, I remember right where I was sitting. I remember the angles. I remember everything in that moment. And I have a horrible memory, but I remembered that. I remember that till this day. And it just like, and the scream she let out when she found out Santa wasn't real. Because we used to do elaborate Santa things. I would write, I have a fancy style of lettering I would use. You know, we'd have stories where we'd leave cookies out and then the cookies would be gone. I took a trick that my father did and I marked like a marker around the boot where his boot had laid on the tile in the entrance of the house. You know, there was special gifts from Santa, you know, from Santa to Mari, where we all acted like we didn't know what it was. And I destroyed all of that in a moment where I thought I should be honest, because I thought that's what she wanted, you know? And I think the biggest thing for Mari, as it's very evident into how much it is of her identity now, is that she begged and begged and begged to color her hair. And I didn't want her to color her hair. I just didn't want it. I like colored hair. I just didn't want my daughter to have colored hair. I wanted normal hair. I mean, I was a pretty extreme guy when I was younger where I didn't like girls that wore makeup. I don't like piercings, even in the ear. Rings. Do you see? I don't wear any jewelry. This is super recent for me to have a watch. Really. I mean, I've had a watch on and off, but not as constant as this. I just don't like jewelry. I don't like to wear things. I don't like accoutrements, you know? So I didn't want her to have colored hair because I thought it would lead to, you know, tons of piercings. And I had my reasons why I didn't want it. And she would ask for it all the time and I would say no. And that hurt her. It's such a huge part of her and Teresa's self-expression that I didn't recognize it. And I mean, it's all hindsight. Like, I can easily say it now, but back then, I tried to be honest. I said, look, I know it's not a bad thing. Because she could prove to me time and time again it wasn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with it. And I would agree. I just didn't want it. I had no other reason. I don't have religion to make an excuse. I just didn't want it for whatever reason. I always had this, it's different now. I feel different now. But at the time, every time I saw a woman with blue hair or green hair, they were dirty. They didn't maintain it. My daughters maintain their hair, but these women don't. They're just dirty, not kempt up, not upkept. I don't know the words. They don't keep well. And I didn't want my daughter to look like a dirty person. And that's how it looked like to me. And of course, they always had like tons of piercing. And by the way, my daughter has piercings now. So she fell into the trap that I didn't want. I don't like her piercings. I know she loves them. I don't say anything to her about them. I hope she's not watching. I absolutely hate the things she does in her nose. The septum piercing looks so dumb to me. I absolutely hate it. Every time I see her, I forget that exists, and then I see it, and I go, oh, God. But I know she loves it, so I don't say anything. And it's not my place. It's her body. It's her. She's an adult. She can do whatever she wants to her body, and I respect that now. I understand that now. But as a father growing up, I seemed like a real conservative jerk, you know? So you know, both of them will say, oh, my daughter's going to be able to do anything. I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to do something that you don't want them to do, and you're going to have no other reason but that you don't want it. And you're going to have to deal with that if they have children, you know? Excuse me, guys. I wonder if I got corona. I don't know what happened. Like, I had a cold, it went away, and then either I got a new one or this one resurged. I don't know. Now I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm on medicine to block my mucus. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Having a child is the absolute hardest damn thing, and I would ask you children to give your parents a little bit of leeway and know that there's no manual with a child. They dump the child in the car. You know, you have a baby seat? Yeah. All right. Good luck. And then you're on the highway driving back. I just remember that moment. I'm driving down like I-15, you know, heading towards my house. Yukari's next to me with no more baby in her stomach and a baby in my car that I have to keep alive. But the only thing I learned was like how to help my wife have contractions and breathe. That was all I learned. They didn't, and I learned you have to wipe away from the female part, not towards it. That was what I learned about babies, so you don't get infections in them. That's what I learned. Good thing I learned that, because I think for the first 2 weeks almost, I had to be the only guy that changed diapers because my wife was not feeling good. But it's a scary, scary process, man. And children, they don't have an off button. There's no off button. I know people will do things like put cereal in their milk and, you know, do something to make them sleep. We never did anything like that. And you know what? The entire time they grew up, I don't even think once did we have anyone ever babysit them, ever. I think there was one time when Arisa hit her head on the, she hit her head, and we had to leave Mari with a friend, one of our family friends. That was it. That's about the only time. They've never had babysitters or been left with anybody. So just, it's a very, if your parents aren't absolutely horrible people, forgive them for what they've done when you grew up. I forgive my father for all the times he whipped me with a belt because I understand his frustrations. I forgive him. He didn't punch me in the face. He didn't give me black lips. He just whipped me with a belt. And that was acceptable in his era. You know? I have no like deep-seated trauma from that. I'm probably better for it, to be fair. Or I'm not. I don't know. Look, I'm not a psychologist. Nemo, sorry, I'm very behind in these comments, but he says, our personalities are shaped in early childhood. Well, I'll tell you another thing. If you haven't had kids yet, one thing you might not know, you're born with a personality. Mari had it right away. She still has some of the idiosyncrasies that I saw as she was sitting in her baby chair as a baby. Like I see them now that I saw them then. Arisa as well. There are things about their personalities that are shaped from the moment they're in the womb. Okay. TV says, I think many people wish to be a bird so they can fly and things like that. Yeah, being a bird would be nice. Nemo's a bit says, Quantum Leap was an awesome 90s show. It really was, and it taught a lot about how people work. Big nostalgic feels, yes. TB says, George, are you getting all philosophical because you're dying from this cough? No, because this beautiful Korean woman made me imagine being her dog. That's what happened. Also, I'm getting ready to leave here. So I know I'm getting ready to like close the little zipper up on this memory on this particular trip. And I know that I'm going to forget 90% of what happened on this trip and just some good feelings will remain. And I'll have like these key moments that maybe are on video that I have. So maybe it'll survive longer if it's on video. But beyond that, I don't record these language meetups. I don't record the hanging out afterwards. I don't record the conversations with my friends. I don't record the classes. It's just, I record me walking around, you know? So I think I'm getting a little bit deep because Korea has been such a deep influence on me, and it's getting ready to go bye-bye again, you know? And I'm getting ready to move into another chapter. It's weird. I know it's like, oh, what do you mean? What's happening? Something big happening? No, there's nothing big happening. But every time I come to Korea, I shut a chapter in America, and I kind of forget about it for a while, and I have this whole other adventure in a different dimension. And now Narnia's door is getting ready to close, and I've got to go back to, and I don't want to say this wrong. Yesterday I was feeling like, oh my God, I got to go back. But today I'm feeling like, oh man, I get to go back. I'm excited. So emotionally, I'm preparing to get back. Like I know tonight when I met my friend in Hanam, I know that was the last time I'm going to see her for a year or more. So I said, hey man, let's see how well you do in the next year. I think you're going to like kill it. And because you think you're doing good now because she's doing really well and she's a Twitch streamer. Like you're killing it now. I think you'll be killing it more in a year or two. I can't wait to talk to you then because even we have very deep discussions, but she's like, you made me realize how far I've come, because she didn't have, like, I just have a picture frame of what she was many, many years ago, and then there's now, and I'm like, holy moly, have you matured? Wow, I need to learn from you level. Like, she's really done well for herself. And when I started telling her how impressed I was with what she had done, and I got emotional thinking about it, it's such a rare thing. Do you know how rare it is to meet a person that does things? Do you know how hard my definition of doing is? When other people, I don't see it. I don't see it enough. At least not with people that I know. So to know somebody that had nothing and now has everything that they want, and they're constantly building to their future, it's nice to see, man. And I get a little bit emotional about that, and I have a lot of pride to know that person. Like, I'm very happy to know that person. Excuse me. It's almost a dry cough, really. There's not a lot coming out right now. Nemo says, George is going full therapy Moj on us. Moge on us. Don't know what that means. I like Alyssa Milano and Asian women too, says common commenter. Don't we all? June says, I'm sorry, I just tuned in. I didn't know. Yeah. I'm glad you're excited for book 5, though. And honestly, I know that for some people, those books are literal chapters in their life as well. So, June, I think you will love book 5. It is my favorite of the Japanese From Zero books because it's the most well-formed book that I wrote. It's the best one of the series. Bradley says, what a bitchy thing to do. Man, I wish I knew what I was talking about then. I hope that wasn't geared towards June. Oh, my mother. I was thinking maybe he was talking because it was right after the June comment. I was like, oh, because June said she, and now I made her a girl. Could be a boy. It's like, oh, you're mad because she said she was into book 5. And what a bitchy thing to do. No, you're talking about my mother. Yeah. Kyle says, if I blew your mind with that analysis, then you should definitely check out Dr. K. You keep pushing this Dr. K on me, man. Bradley says, lost respect as a person. TV says, wow, this is deep. Did you ever meet your birth mother again? I did. That wasn't my birth mother, though. The one, my 16-year-old mother, I did. Now, I met her when I was, I believe I was 9. I traveled to Georgia. I gave myself to the Lord, was going to the church with her on Sundays. She taught me about the Bible. That was what she gave to me, an understanding of religion. Thank you. And and there was some words of wisdom. There's one thing that she said that stands with me to this day. There's actually a lesson that I learned from my mother, which I actually am just happy to have something that guides me. And it's that the thing that you're worrying about never happens, or almost never happens, was what she said. And I thought that was a really good thing to hear from her. Now, keep in mind, when I was 9, she was 25. Think about that. She was 25. That's really young. That's how old my daughter is, my oldest daughter. And to think that, a 9-year-old, is your son at that age is crazy. But I contacted her about 2 Mother's Days ago, and I had written her multiple letters, and she has written me back. Unfortunately, I think she's bothered with the amount that I don't write, because I don't write letters. And I tried to explain to her in a letter, I said, you're in a different dimension from me because you don't have a phone. You don't have a phone that I could, if you had a smartphone, I would text you all the time with things. I'd send you photos all the time. But the way that we communicate now, I've got to print out photos. I've got to write or type a letter, print it, put it in an envelope. And it's this very super asynchronous conversation. And I don't even remember what I sent the last time. So she'll send me these cards and they'll say like, we still have a chance. We still can make it, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't ignoring you. I just don't write letters that much. I talk to my dad all the time. We text all the time. So if I ever visit Georgia where she is now, maybe I'll bring her a phone, TB says, amazing how much these things in childhood affect us. Hear you thinking about it all these years later. If it happened now, you probably wouldn't even think twice. I don't know. Glacian says, it's hard to hear these stories of rough childhoods. I don't think I had a rough childhood, to be fair. I dealt with divorce, which was sad, but I was taken care of. I wasn't hungry. My father cared for me. My father was my everything. My father was there for me. And, when my original mother, my actual mother, when she got a boyfriend and wrote him a Dear John letter when he was in Cambodia for the Vietnam War, he got back as soon as he could to get custody of me. He got custody of me in 1974. Now, I don't expect you to understand, but that was impossible. For the father to get custody in 1974 was a big deal. And my mother didn't even make it. She couldn't even find the courthouse. She got lost. So he was there for me. And then my grandmother raised me for a bit, which is why I like beef stew. I now know, because I ate. Whenever I would visit my grandmother, I would get real food for the first time. I didn't have really good food with my mother because she didn't know how to cook. She was 18, 16, when she had me, and 18 at age 2. What was she going to feed me? Cereal. It's easy. And she was lonely, and she got a boyfriend. I don't blame her for any of that stuff. When I saw my daughters at that age, I just thought, wow, how could they have handled a baby? They're still a baby themselves. You're a baby at 16.
She might not like you.
That was the wrong sound. Sorry.
If I like you, I'll tell you. Straight up, if I know I like you, I'm gonna text you right at that moment when I decided I like you. I'm gonna be like, I like you. But if you don't like me, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
Even I don't know, bro.
TB says, you seem like you'd be such a cool dad. My father was a total dictator. Can't see that in you. I don't know, but I think I'm a good dad. But I know for my oldest daughter, it can be stressful with me as a father. And I know for my youngest as well, because I don't pull back enough. I need to just pull back and not push. I also need to not solve every problem. That's what I learned with dealing with my daughters, that I don't need to solve every problem. I also learned one time that only white men can be racist. I learned that. Only white people can be racist, and that white men are the problem. I've learned that from my daughters at one point. I think they pulled back from that way of thinking. I think they were influenced by whatever they were watching at the time. But look, I'm probably an okay father. I don't know what I'm not the one that decides if I'm a good father or not. I think I'm a better father than my father, even though my father was there for me. I don't think he grew up in an era where he was he's a boomer, right? So he's a very much like a, man up. This is the way you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it my way, and that's my way or the highway. He used to say, like, not now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year, never. He would say something like that, And I remember I got in trouble one time in school, and he was yelling at me for something, and we were having this like tense standoff. He was sitting on the couch and I was sitting in a chair, and he was angering me with what he was saying. He wasn't listening to what I was saying. And I made a move. I was like, and he said, feeling froggy? Jump. He wanted that. He wanted me to strike him, and I said a similar thing to my daughter. There was a moment where my daughter was really rebelling against me, and I was her story. I was my father never believed in me, or whatever story she had at the time. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was okay with that. And I let her know, I said, I'm okay. I'm okay if you think I held you back. Prove me wrong. I don't mind being the villain if you succeed. I sometimes need someone to fight against, and I don't mind because, and Mari is very much like me. I think she's trying to get past it. Like, she's really, really working on herself to be motivated solely by internal factors and not external factors. And I really admire the level of work that both of my daughters have done with understanding their own psyche and trying to, grow past it and be strong without the need for recognition from other people or to be destroyed by other people in the comments, because, we're a content house, apparently. They both are they make a ton of content. They both have over 100,000 followers on their various chat forms. Mari's growing like crazy. So they have to deal with these things. But I think at the time I just thought, yeah, I'll be your enemy. Fight me and beat me up, destroy me, prove me a horrible human being, stand on the ashes of me. I'm fine. I was fine with that because I used hate against my father myself. When I started my company when I was 18, I had already moved out of my house. My dad had lost his job. And I remember listening to 9 Inch Nails, Head Like a Hole. It's a really angry sounding song. I'd rather die than give you my soul. That was my dad. I was like, I'd rather die than give you my soul. You can't tell me what to do. I was Rage Against the Machine level angry at my father in that era of my life. And that propelled me, I thought at least at the time. It turns out it's probably just a thing that I am. I have just an aggression to do things, to build things. So it's in me somewhere. There's some sort of desire within me. But at the time, and even way up into my daughter's life, her early childhood, I just thought it's a part of nature that you rebel against your parents, and that's what brings you into adulthood. And that might be the case, but I don't think that's what my daughter wanted. My daughter didn't want that. My daughter doesn't want that. My daughter just wants someone to listen, and I have a hard time listening 100%, and it triggers her, which triggers me. We trigger each other very easily. But I'm really trying to learn to change the way I speak with her, because she grew up in an era where words matter a lot more. You can't just fluff off a word. A word to my daughter, at least my oldest daughter, has a lot more meaning, and she takes everything deep. So if I throw out something really casually, I can't take it back right away. It's unbackable. It's hard. Girls are hard. I wonder how my life would have been with a boy. Could I have just punched him in his shoulder and would be good? Probably. I don't know. Kyle says, wait, are you telling me Santa isn't real? No, there's multiple Santas, Kyle. There's one particular Santa I was talking about that isn't real, but there are other Santas, though probably your Santa is not the one I was talking about, so you're okay. TB, no, I'm telling you, it's a different Santa. You're good. Nemo says, George, the quote-unquote dream crusher. Kyle says, Santa Claus is so weird. We tell our kids this to give them supposed joy, but then it ends up being one of the most crushing moments in their lives to find out it isn't real. I think it's unhealthy. It leads to the ability to believe in something that isn't true, a fantasy. It leads to being able to believe in a God that we have no proof exists as well. Sorry, didn't mean to throw that in there, but I believe that. Do you know, kind of an interesting fact, do you remember, if you don't, it's okay, when I was a kid, Snuffleupagus was this big mammoth creature with a long trunk, this hairy mammoth creature on Sesame Street. But only Big Bird could see him. He was invisible. Every time the adults would come, Snuffleupagus would disappear at the perfect timing, and then Big Bird would turn around, see, I told you he was real, but then he would be gone. And the parents, the adults didn't believe him. It was like, oh, you're just imagining, blah, blah, blah. But now that's not true. Snuffleupagus is always available and always visible. You know why? because it was dangerous for children. If they thought that they wouldn't be believed, because the older people couldn't see Snuffleupagus. So they changed Sesame Street for psychological reasons for children. Isn't that interesting? Kyle says, I remember when I found out Santa wasn't real. I wasn't bawling my eyes out or anything, but I was pretty upset, especially due to the fact that I was basically lied to for years by every adult I knew. Did you really have that level of thought that, like, I don't remember when I found out Santa wasn't real. I don't remember. But I can't imagine I would be like, wait a minute. You've been lying to me all this time? I don't think I had that deep of a thought at that age when I found out. TB says, it is a very fine line you have to tread. If you are too strict on certain things, kids will rebel on purpose. I've been told by Mari we should have been more strict. She said that at one point, and that she got away with too much. And that's a fundamental failure of me as a parent, because I would never maintain the punishment. I was really unreliable in that sense. Melanie says, well, once your childhood is effed up, you're ruined for life. Is that true? You can come to terms with what happened, make sense of it, and understand it as an adult. But once you're broken, you'll never be whole again. Wow. I don't know if that's true. Because I think I was highly affected by the whole mother thing. And maybe I wasn't messed up enough, but I feel like I've come around. Glacian says, I'm glad my parents weren't controlling about my hair. Unkempt. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Yes. Glacia says, yeah, I don't like the middle nose piercing. Yuck. Yeah. It just looks like there's a booger. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not a booger. It's funny. There's a subreddit on reddit.com called Am I Ugly? And number one, whenever you see anyone with a nose piercing, they're like, take that junk out of your nose every time. It's super common. People generally don't like it. It looks yucky to a lot of people. Now, my daughter would say, F you. It's my body. I like it. That's all that matters. And I agree. I have a choice as a man, if I'm single, to not date a girl that has that, because I don't want it. But it's also her choice to put it in there. You know, it's her body. You know. Belt is a little much, says Zemo. Yes, I know. And there's even a horrible incident with my father's. 2 horrible incidents that I remember with my dad. One was, we have a great relationship now, by the way, but one was, we were playing Uno, and I was losing. I think I had like, we were playing to whoever gets 500 points loses, and I had like 490 points. I was when you count the cards, I was dead, essentially, but I didn't want to play anymore. I wanted to go to my room and do something. But my father said, you'll play to the end. And I didn't want to. He wouldn't let me go. So in protest, I never had a good card again. I was just going to collect and collect and collect. And he saw me doing it. I had like this many cards in my hand. There's no way I wouldn't have if you have a reverse or a skip or anything in that hand. And he flipped my cards over, and they fell on the table, and like I had draw 4s and reverses and skips. I had all of the cards that could have kept me in the game. I even had numbers that would go on top. I had everything. Boy, did he get angry. He whipped me with the belt, and I counted 17 times. It was like a psh, psh, just all over my body, you know? And I remember because I was counting, and also I was defiant. I didn't cry. I was so angry that he was hitting me for that I didn't cry. I just remember my lip going like curling, and that's why he kept hitting me, by the way, because I wouldn't cry. I wasn't giving him what he wanted. He wanted me to cry, and I wasn't going to give him that satisfaction. That was one time. And another time, and I actually tell this one as a funny story, but it wasn't funny at the time. He had told me not to take the comics out of the Sunday newspaper, and I did. And then I forgot to put them back. And then when he went to get the comics out of the Sunday newspaper, which I guess was one of his sole joys in life. They weren't there. And he was very, very angry. And he told me I was going to get a whipping. But it was a controlled whipping. It wasn't out of anger. It was like, you're going to get a whipping. He was angry, but it was going to be like a planned whipping. It wasn't going to be like the one where I was flailing all over the floor, right? So he took me in my room. He said, grab onto the back of that chair. I was grabbing on the back of the chair. He said, put your pants down. My pants go down. He says, if you cry, you're going to get another whipping. If you fall down, you're going to get another whipping. If you try to grab the belt as it comes in, you're getting another whipping. And he went back. The belt came in. I grabbed it, cried, and fell to the ground. I did all three things. He didn't give me another whipping. He didn't finish it. But that's like a funny story to me because I did all three. But yeah, those are the two horrendous times that I remember. Other than that, they're all just melted into my childhood. I mean, I remember Marlene used to hit me with a wooden spoon to my butt, and that hurt more than the belt almost. It was like, whoops, this really like, whoops, it really hurt. I remember another time where my father was angry at me, and he lifted me above, like he lifted me like Darth Vader on my neck and pushed. I was really young. I think I was like 4 or 5. And I remember him pushing me up to the ceiling, all the way to the ceiling, and then he dropped me. It was on a bunch of laundry clothing, so I was okay. But he just went, when he dropped me, he was so angry. I don't remember why, but whatever it was, maybe I learned my lesson. I have great memories with my dad as well too. There's these things that fathers do, and I certainly have bad memories with my daughter that she doesn't even remember. But I'm like, oh my God, I feel horrible because, I struck my daughter in anger more than once, just like my dad did, and it sucks. It sucks to do that. I mean, we've made up, me and my daughter. She actually has forgiven me, I believe. TB said, you got the black people treatment. Wow. The whippings? Oh my God. Kyle says, that's racist. To be fair, TB might be black, so maybe they can speak to that in their history, right? Kyle says, the problem with banning something from your children is that they will likely do it when they get older, hide it from you, or maybe do it exponentially worse and without talking to you. Yeah, probably. The thing is, I was honest with her. I said, look, I know it's hypocritical to say that I like colored hair, but that I don't want you to have it, I just don't want it on my daughter. I was trying to be honest. Glacian says, I'm on my book 3 arc right now. Gonna start lesson 3 chapter today. I love that you're so happy about the books. Melanie says, which person in your life can speak the most languages? We're trying to change the topic. Okay. How many languages do they speak? I speak the most languages in the entire Trombley family. Yeah. I never thought about it, but there's no one in my entire family tree, from uncles to cousins, that I think even speak even one other language. It's this branch of the family. My daughters speak English and Japanese. My wife speaks Japanese and a little bit of English. And I speak Japanese, English, Korean, and some Chinese. So yeah, there you go. ACL 3920 says, I'm 25 now and I can't imagine having a kid at all yet. TB says she doesn't have a phone at all. Yeah, my mother does not have a phone. No, she has a phone, not a smartphone. She has a landline. Maybe you can buy her one of those big button phones. No, I need to buy her like an iPad or something like that. Here's the thing though, I don't think her house even has Wi-Fi. So I don't know what to do about that. Like I'd probably have to get her, and I don't know if I want to go this far. So I have another thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to introduce another thing for me to take care of. I don't want to take care of my mother. She wasn't my mother. She wasn't there. There were years where I called and she didn't want to talk when I hadn't called in, 15 years. I'm like, but she was in a mood and she didn't want to talk to anybody, including her actual first son. And that hurt as well. I don't hold a grudge on that, but I also feel I don't owe her anything. She doesn't owe me anything, and I don't owe her anything. And I just want to take care of my own immediate family, and not her. If I'm going to take care of anybody, it'll be my dad. If my dad took care of me reciprocally. I think I'd take care of him. Kyle says, I try to push you on him. Oh, about Dr. K. I try to push you on him because I think you'd benefit greatly. A lot of your psychological problems regarding your company and stuff are things he's helped tons of people with. And introspection is Nick. I think it'd be nice. Kyle, the thing is, I don't think there's anything I really don't know about my current issues, you know. Is that true? I don't know. But I'm not looking for solutions. I need to come up with the solution myself. I think that's it. Glacial says, oh, I understand fathers getting custody is rare. It certainly was at the time. Kyle says, I had to look up Alyssa Milano. She looks gorgeous, but doesn't stick out too much to me. Yeah, let's look at Alyssa Milano. Yeah, she's older now. Oops. That's not Alyssa Milano. Is it? Or that's the person that took the photo. Here's what I'm talking about. This era. I mean, she's older now. Talking about when she was younger. I don't think about her much nowadays. This age right here. Alyssa Milano, Summer Glau, when she was in Terminator, was so pretty to me. Those are the only two I can remember. There's probably more, I just don't remember them. Who is the girl in Hunger Games? The woman, I should say. She's such a fun personality. So, who was she? Katniss, right? Can't remember who that actress is. I think she's attractive as well. I like her for her personality more than anything, though. We're just not gonna give the actress that played her. It's an actual like history, but not telling us who she is. Okay, I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. Every time I see interviews with her, though, she's so fun. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is so nice. Like every time I've seen her, she's so fun. I love that energy that she has. Kyle says, a Dear John letter, is that a breakup thing? Yes. And my father knew it was a Dear John letter. It means you write to another person. Like you write a letter to John, not the actual man. John is the other guy, I believe. But my father said they used to put stamps on the envelope upside down, and it meant I love you. And this particular letter, the stamp was upright. It was sitting in the box upside down, but the stamp, which should have been upright, was also upside down because of its positioning, but it should have been upright if it was on there the right way for the I love you meaning. He said, that's how he told me the story, and I was like, oh, wow. And when I was writing letters to Yukari after I learned that, I always put them on upside down myself. Kyle says, only white people can be racist is ironically super racist. I tried to tell him that. When they were younger, they were affected a lot by whatever they were watching online, and there was a movement at one point that only white people could be racist. And I immediately quashed that and said, honey, I got told I couldn't enter places because I was white in Japan. And that's different. It's not different. It's not different. I don't know. They might even defend it today that only white people could be racist. But it's funny because my wife, as a Japanese person, has said the most racist people she's ever met are black people. The black people have been racist to her more than white people, is what she said. That's her experience. I have not experienced that, obviously. Kyle says, I learned I don't need to solve every problem. He's quoting me. Is more of a dealing with a woman thing. Yeah, it is. It really is. TV says, if I were your daughter, I'd be scared to fight you because I might get that look you gave the chanting Korean old man. I think I have a scary face with my daughters. I don't think they like that face as well. Jesus. All right, I guess I got to the bottom of this. Did we? No, not yet. More talk of Santa. I can't believe that came from an Uno game. It did. That's the stupid part about it. That's why I remember it so strong. My father was so angry that I wasn't participating in the game. It was a completely unneeded whipping. It was dumb. Kyle says, does the "it's my body, so I'll do what I want" apply to stuff like implants, blinding on purpose, drinking, etc.? I don't think they'll do that. But yeah, I think it would have to, right? They're adults. I can't stop them. Legally, I can't even stop them. What I might not do is support them anymore, because I would essentially be paying for those things, right? I don't want to give them money to live, and then whatever money they have excess they use to get implants, that would bother me. So I wouldn't do it as a form of control. It's just I'm against it, so I don't want to pay for it. If you want to, if you're going to do it yourself. But no, I'm not a fan. And once they get out of college, I feel like, it's do what you want, but I don't like it. Excellent save, George. You bamboozled him with all three at once. What? I don't remember what I was talking about. That's the problem with these delayed reactions here. Bamboozled him with all three at once. Dang it, I wish I remember what that was. Kyle says, you mentioned before how your wife's English isn't good enough for her to get certain things done in America. Have I thought about helping her with English? Or is it pointless? It's pointless. She's beyond that age of trying to learn English. It's over. I told her you should probably learn English in case I die, but nah, she's fine. Alyssa Milano was good looking in Charmed show. I agree. Kyle says, I've heard Alyssa Milano's name on Family Guy. If she's an older era, then that girl that played Topanga as much as Topanga was really cute too. Topanga as a woman, like as an adult, is actually really beautiful too. I saw her literally 2 days ago as an adult on some TikTok. Daniel Fischel's her name? Wow. Daniel Christine Fischel. Well, she looks a little bit different now. I didn't know she was black, though. That's kind of weird. Why is he coming up on this Instagram? She's 42 years old. Oh, I should have clicked on images. Not my style of face, I guess. Yeah, her eyes are like she's bulging them out too much. But she's pretty. She looks like me when I take photos. I know a lot of people love her, though. Jennifer Lawrence. Yes. Jennifer Lawrence interviews are fun. They are for me. The internet loved the girl that played Hermione. I don't know how to say it. Is that a Harry Potter reference? Kyle says, I'm not a huge fan, but Cardi B interviews are hilarious. Just watched her on Hot Ones. Kyle says, Dr. K doesn't give you answers. He nudges you towards understanding yourself better. The modern liberal opinion on racism, sexism, and stuff like that is so out of whack, says Kyle. Oh, three at once. Yes, the catching belt, crying, and ducking. Yeah. I caught him on all three. That's what it was, yeah. Kyle says, I saw that TikTok too, and I think it was a black guy meeting her. Oh, was it a black guy? I thought I saw it with a white guy. Topanga's smile has always been pretty odd. Okay. Oof, her smile looks bad, says Kyle. Now here my daughter would say, do you know how hard it is for women online? Don't you dare talk about women and the problems that they go through. You don't know how hard it is just to be accepted and how unfair the world. Okay. Sorry. By the way, do I know Sheena Ringo? I do know Sheena Ringo. We're best friends. And actually, I thought it was not spelled the way that you're spelling it. Sheena Ringo. Oh my God, I've not seen her recently. Wow. What was that picture I just saw? Okay, she looks good here. Yeah, she's really attractive. What was that first picture I saw? It was crazy. Hang on. What's this? I'm not a fan of that hairstyle. That says Jamie McCarthy. That must be whoever took the photo. Yeah, she's a singer. Ooh, gosh. I didn't like that gun in that shot. How old is she? 44. 6 years my junior. Whew. Guys, I feel like that was a good live. We had fun. We talked about a lot of deep things. It's probably time to go. I'll see you next time.
Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39, Japanese ZZ39.
I feel you, Bo. I feel you, Bo. Yo, it's okay. How do I say this? I feel you, Bo. But you know what? Take the time to get to know yourself. Like, understand the things you like and don't like. Because once you understand yourself, you know how to take care of yourself when you find the person for you. I'm not gonna lie. Trying again won't hurt. Try it again won't hurt. Just don't give yourself away. Too fast. Yeah. Trying again won't hurt. Just don't give yourself away too fast. Yeah. If I like you, I'll tell you. You feel me? You feel me? Straight up, if I know I like you, I'm gonna text you right at the moment when I decided I like you. I'm gonna be like, I like you. But if you don't like me,
Japanese
it's okay.
ZZ39, Japanese 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 ZZ39.
Doing a day particle in the first usage is the mark location where the action takes place.
I feel you, Bo. I feel you, Bo. No, because like sometimes girls flirt in a way of being like homies, but they definitely flirting. But sometimes girls actually mean it when they say homies or dating or like bro, like bye. But you never know. So like take your chance. If you
Japanese
mind, bro.
ZZ39, Japanese 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 ZZ39.
Doing a day particle in the first usage is the mark location where the action takes place.
Japanese ZZ39.
That's therapeutical. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.